Oh, no.
Dear, another difficult position. This is not good news for Stalwart. Oh, no. Oh, this is awful. Not like Stalwart. It's back to business for Stalwart. They are getting torn up. One player left, and we're only 3 minutes into the game.
On this drop, it looks like we are going to see both Power and Nova heading out that direction already. I feel like we might be seeing this again. I feel like we have another hot drop on the cards. I'm wondering if this is a little bit of a...
Definitely how you get it done. By the way, they were actually in 16th place. Yeah, they were able to make that big of a jump, and that's currently what these teams needed to do, especially at the end of day one. You didn't want the gap to be building up too much.
So many of these top teams in here, I'm expecting some sort of clashes for maybe the entirety of the first day for every map. And oh, we're getting a clash right here, and it's actually between Nova, the reigning champions, against Power. This is a full-out hot drop in a very small little town city of Gaka.
They are split really heavily right now. See, Mike Cruz is on the front line for 3 of the players there. I think Paraboy's only got a pistol in his building, has been spotted out as well. This is really, really tense stuff. I mean, both of these teams, I think you have to finish this fight. You have to go for it. There's no way that you can get out. There's no vehicles. There's
Exactly. In there. Yeah, no vehicles. There's no exit strategy here. This is a fight to the death. And already off the bat, the reigning champs against Power. It seems like Power does have a slight weapons advantage. No, it looks like Paraboy did manage to pick up another weapon. So all 4 players loaded out with weapons. As you can see, Ziz right here. No helmet, no vest, no meds. Everyone's definitely going to be hurting on supplies for this. It's going to really come down to who could get the first opening.
It's going to be really interesting as well to see the first outing of Nova in this tournament. Are they going to be a little bit more cautious, like Seven said? It seems like maybe at the moment they are. This is a really interesting standoff because each player drops on a unique building. At the moment, I think the really important part is order up on that up on the tall building. But there's a Power player out in the little shack on the outside there who might be able to spot it. No, the sight line's not quite going out there, but order in a really valuable spot.
Definitely, this is a huge stalemate too. And Nova's playstyle, they aren't a very aggressive team. Like we've heard Seven said, I don't think they're going to be making the first move. So it comes down to Power. Well, the Power being like more of an inexperienced team, at least when it comes to the Pmgc stage, I don't feel like they're going to try and make a first move either. Like they'll throw out the nades. If they get the nade knock, then they might go aggressive. But if no nades hit, I don't think we're going to see an organized push effort, at least not for a little bit.
They really are playing it slow. Look, Paraboy seems to have run out the back, and they may be looking to just get out of it. Because, I mean, we said it was a little bit of a stalemate, but if you're running away, if you have that full side, you can use the buildings as cover to run across to some more buildings, maybe pick up a vehicle, and form an extraction unit.
Also, we do have to keep in mind, we do see one player, if you look at the minimap, has ran away. It is Paraboy.
Yeah,
Paraboy has backed off entirely, and I don't know if Power sniffed this out, if they just have a feeling, but now we see Power making a move with those smokes, laying it down, clearing up one more building. That is one more building in their control, and you see Nova doing the same, backing up a little bit. Now, Paraboy's called back because they are getting pushed, and Paraboy's already tagged down extremely low, so I think they saw Paraboy running away, which prompted this more aggressive stance from the Power team.
They've changed it up, and now Nova are kind of backed into a corner on this one. They might not be aggressive, but they're going to have to dig deep here to keep themselves going. A catch on the cross from the Micro Uzi spray, and King's the first to go down here. A push comes through from Power as well as they start to vault in the windows. Paraboy seemingly no meds. Order on the outside. They'll need to be wary of this position, but I don't think it's going to be caught. Fortunately, Jimmy, Stalwart on defense for Nova, will be able to spot Kante on the sidelines. At the top of the building, there's 2 players from Power as well.
Ooh, Order's position is so smart. He's waiting. He's taking shots now. He's going to be able to get one. No, he gets one down to 1 HP. They find out Order. Now the Order is isolated completely. The rest of Nova need to play aggressive to capitalize off of Order's position, but Order goes down. They did get the revive onto Paraboy, but it does not look very good for Nova whatsoever. Nova's backed up 3v3, but King and Paraboy down to 1 HP, and I don't think they have any meds.
It's been basically no loot. 1 building's worth of loot for each of them. Spray's crucial around the corner here. King looking to fall away from it. Paraboy's good for 1, good for 2 as well. He lights up Power and keeps them alive. Only a sliver of HP now. The tables have turned, and it's Paraboy to stand up for Nova with a small amount of HP. Will be able to do it. Pushes in for a second. King's out the window. And Nova can take control of Gatka. This is a world champion team.
Fact, 3v4 situation. I believe Alpha 7 here with 4 players up, probably better looted as well. And Alpha 7's one of the strongest fighting teams. We see them take 4v4s all the time. This time it's a 4v3, and King needs to move out from that nade. He does dodge it. I don't think King knows where Carrillo is. That nade's going to hit.
Seen that nade come through. No, it's just short of the car. Carrillo wants to put another one towards the back there. This time it should be on target. Bounces off the bonnet. And on to King. That's what you're looking to find. But in the meantime, the remaining two players, Paraboy and Jimmy from Nova, will have flooded around the edges. Carrillo might have been leapfrogged in terms of priority movements, but cuts down Paraboy on the cross. He thought he was safe with the smoke, but Jimmy's there now. Last player for Nova and Alpha 7. They're going to swarm the Sharks themselves. Revo careening over the top of that ridgeline there, pushing in. Jimmy now left high and dry by the rest of the squad. Alpha 7 don't want to let this one go, and that's going to be it. Paraboy, King, both fall. And Nova eliminated, down to Alpha 7.
The team might be full sending crashing that, and here we see the rotations coming in. One team taking the bridge, the other team taking the other side of the bridge. There's so little real estate left. Everyone's fighting for every little piece of territory they can.
Ooh, Inco on the far side of the bridge right now. 1 Million Gaming trying to play on the close. They both went past down one, who have lost two of their players. Vampire Esports taking shots out this way. They have got the cover from the tower. Hopefully they can get those reses through. 1 Million moving across. You can see Marshall there on the bottom of your screen, swimming across to the other side of the river. A really smart rotate. It's time crucial though. It's time sensitive because the more teams start to pack themselves into this area, the more likely it is to get spotted. Venom holding on the close side this time around, but they're not going for the engagement just yet, Zute.
Yeah, I love that heads up play from 1 Million. Immediately sending one player to the other side, whereas the side of Inco, looks like they came here just a tad too late and they're already on the back foot of things. V2 might have had the same thought, but now he's just caught in the middle. Taking a look at the rest of the map right here, we see USG Donuts in a small compound just right across from the Knights. These teams are all in the zone. Looking at the mini-map, though, we still have 3 full teams not in the circle yet. HVVP, UDO Alliance, and the EVOS team still have yet to make their way into the circle. And here we see HVVP just slowly, methodically working their way in.
They do like to sweep, and when they get on the roll, there's very little that can stop them. On that western side, teams better watch out. In the meantime, Stalwart, who thought they might have to cross the river, will just not have to in this gas station. I mean, this is such a strong position for them to be surviving into the top sort of 6 teams moving forwards. Pittsburgh Knights getting hunted down by HVVP as they turn their attention to another team over the hill line. But two of them get lit up. They just struggle to get through the door. Kitsune might be able to push in for a res. Is this a push coming through? Potentially. I mean, the USG Donuts do have the tempo on it, but HVVP do not want to let this one go. This is half of their roster. They can't afford to let it go at this stage. 14 teams alive. Beku moving into the backup.
If USG pushes this, I am thoroughly impressed. Rarely do you ever see a team further into the zone, push away from the zone to take a fight. Those 2 knocks definitely made them think about it. We saw them, thinking about it, which I love. They went to a higher ground position, see if they could get another knock, but they couldn't, so they're going to go back into their compound. A nice attempt there, right there. Skylightz right now, holding down the gas station, pinning down UDO Alliance. UDO Alliance in the zone, though, but both of these teams on the edge of circle.
Vampire Esports starting to leverage their position that they were taking up so early, nice and central. EVOS taking heavy punishment on this north side. Lux, the Lone Ranger, the Fireflux right now, fending off against the 4 from EVOS. The Shrink comes through. Vampire still get a lion's share of it, and they're continuing to spray down onto these northern hills. UDO Alliance taking the shots over on the north side as well, uphill. They're not really finding the opening too strongly. They've yet to make that full-mounted push. The fight did conclude over by the bridge. In the meantime, as Inco fall, but 1 Million Esports not looking super healthy either.
We have ST on the other side from the gas station taking shots, picking down one player, and Stalwart, they have to push into zone. They might be looking at 1 Million's position next, especially since, they did see 2 teams fighting here the whole time. And yeah, they're going to make the push. Very smart push. They're not going to take the bridge because we have 2 teams right now across the bridge with Skylightz, Donghua, and Vampire. So they're going to swim across top already, making a slow swim over. He's going to find Skylightz. That smoke helping top out a lot. 1 Million not able to see top, swim on up there. Now top has found a nice position right there across the bridge for his team.
We'll start to put nades over this way as well. I mean, that could be it, done and dusted. One knock goes through. Marshall's still out of the water. Really nice find, and Stalwart will wrest control of the underside of the bridge. It's really good launching point to move forwards as well. Some nice cover, and they've cleared out their back as well. Not really getting too worried about threats from that angle. Nopes from Pittsburgh Knights might get a side swipe on them, but it should only be good for one of the most.
Yeah, I think most likely Coops should just play quiet. He can maybe knock 1, knock 2, but this is Stalwart, so they're going to return fire and at least, so that Coops can't finish any players off. Here we have HVVP taking their way in already for easy eliminations, and I don't believe players really took any damage so far throughout the entirety of this match, so looking very strong. They have the western side of that zone within their control.
Yeah, I mean, those 2 knocks from USG Donuts seem to have been recovered really quite effectively here, and now it's their turn to take shots over towards USG Donuts. They did just come off the back of the fight as well. They did take that double knock, but it's really, really solid on the west side. EVOS on the north did manage to move through, but they've been a little bit slimmed down, playing on a lightweight setup with only 3 of them remaining. Microboy did fall, Lux fighting on valiantly here, but an 8 is going to fly forwards, pushes the fight into it, but it's not going to be good for any more than a tickle of damage as Fireflux finally eliminated.
And also, Bacon Time and Alpha 7 got into a 4v4 engagement that we didn't get to see, and Bacon Time actually came out on top. Alpha 7 also eliminated.
Pressing the ridge against the USG Donuts. Finding the shots. The sprays on the ridgeline are really good from the USG Donuts. Nearly taking out Tixie. Very, very close by. Hang on a minute. Speaking of close by, Kitsune's right up and in their grill.
Ooh.
Goes very low. Needs to be careful. But them shots from the ridgeline, he baits the peaks out wide. and falls back on the back line of the rest of HVVP. See, he dismounted from the top mech, who under fire now from the north side. This is it's gaming third partying onto the shots. Really, really crucial part of this fight. It rolls around the outside here, draws out the nades, draws out the shots, allows to get that heal off. Half HP playing close range around the door frame. Bursts it off its hinges. More players there. Spots one, pops up, doesn't quite get the knock. Needs the challenge now and cuts another one down. Kitsune playing well on the outside here. Wants to put a nade, actually drops the smoke to give them a little bit more leverage, but another of HVVP for the USG Donuts standing strong. Skylightz Gaming on the north side of this, however, in the meantime, taking on Udo Alliance and doing the job well.
Man, this is so crazy. The fights everywhere, every which side. Constant fighting from top tier teams. HVVP is still engaging with USG. That fight's not done and over just yet. And we do see Bacon all the way on the south. I'm looking at the minimap. They're spreading wide. They're looking to maybe third party that fight. Meanwhile, on the northern side, these teams still have to move on. And once again, the circle shifting a little bit more toward the southern side. Very quick switch right there when they knew they were starting to lose the fight. He plays quiet, plays slow. Domon Gaming pushing into the Vampire Esports. They were friendly neighbors for most of this match, but now no longer as the new zone has shifted towards closer to the Vampire. 1 million third party assistance shots on one team, but both teams, they're looking to make their play now too.
Everybody catching flack there. Vampire on 3 gets knocked on a big push in forwards. Will get the flush their way, but playing as the Snakes on the eastern side. That road ahead of them, though, is going to be really, really tricky. Vampire spotted. They're not Snakes anymore. They're up and they're fragging out. One knock and a flush, followed by a second. The vehicle goes up in smoke, and with it, Vampire Esports.
Yeah, now they have to run into the sidelines of Skylightz right there, so it's not done yet for 1 million. It looks like they are getting cut down as soon as that smoke is gone. Oh, no. Marshall caught wide in the open, and that is 1 million out. Stalwart Esports also about to be taken out, I believe. They do find a tree. They made it in the circle, but the circle has once again shifted away from them. And, oh, the sightlines from both different teams, Skylightz and Bacon Time. Oh, not looking very good for the Stalwart team whatsoever. The Donuts position, as they do have 4, and they have the high ground control. They could work their way in, cover their lines. And you see Missile right here, driving around, finding more info, creating space, and deciding what their next move should be. Skylightz Gaming, though, in a good position. They may only have 3, but they do have that ridge to work with on the northern side.
I'm going to just drop this piece of knowledge on you and move on real quick. Bacon Donuts. That's all I have to say about that.
Oh.
Think about that if you want to, but we're going to be thinking about the game for the rest of this one as well.
Prime position to third party if this fight fully does engage on out. But I think we're going to come down to another circle shift before we see any real action. And just as I say that, Bacon find an opening onto the Donuts.
Ice is going to be able to take the opener onto Lufa. Will fall. Shot sent back his way, but he's behind. Stay strong for Bacon time. This disadvantage will be crucial. And Nate sent in as well. Bursts a little bit high. It looked like it was on the mark. A bit too long for the cook. Shots coming in from Sky. Looks like Donuts are the main, whereas that nade was perfectly placed. And the burn down from Lufa will end. Is heaving USG Donuts on 2 active players with the knock they've taken earlier. They're fending off against 2 teams on ridgeline against 2 teams that don't look at each other. It's going to be really, really hard to hold this one down.
Yeah, they're getting crunched, and everybody wants a piece of the Donuts. The USG down to just 1 member. I think he's going to try and stay alive as long as possible, but being between 2 different teams is definitely not good. Skylightz already up to 10 eliminations, and that is the Donuts out. We're down to a 3v3 situation, John.
5 seconds until the zone has fully closed there. Shots over towards some of the players. I mean, that does give a little bit of information about Homestyle's position. Sprays over to Nima, so they know 1 player's location. Information gathering for Skylightz Gaming. Aim at these maneuvers, and he moves forwards. He knows his position is known, and he can leverage that circle. I mean, it's not going to come through because it's going to shrink right to the middle.
I don't think either team has any nades. We would have seen some being thrown at those trees right across the way. So,
well, there's a volley.
Oh, that molly's good. It gets down one.
It pushes Mafia Boy off the cover and into the sightlines of the Bacon Time squad. Will be cut down. No way you can go for that res. Noise up high near Nima. Crawling around near the buggy, near those smokes as well. Taking a central position could be important, but picking up these players more so. Style up close as well on that bottom of the hill position. He's with the sprays, with DP playing the trick.
AJ's got a nade. That nade could be crucial in evening up this fight, but 3v1.
It's just AJ now remaining, and Bacon Time looking to sweep across the hillside, remove Skylightz Gaming from the lobby, and they will do just that. It is Bacon Time with the pink stripes down the sleeve. It's going to be even harder. Those Eastern teams are not going to catch a break here. Power doing well against EVOS at the moment. Like EVOS only taking the one knock so far, but that should be a flush. Not going to be able to get that one back up. This is going to be the first elimination of the lobby. Hopping back over to the Picardo point, you're right, Pittsburgh Knights just fully disengaged. We've seen hot drops on Picardo, especially back over in Western Europe, and he's being called into question. And they aren't answering it yet. Hopefully we'll see more from them.
Hopefully so. Maybe they just are better fighting in from the edge. We'll see. They'll get a chance to do that here as HVVP taking down 2 of the Stalwart players. Actually, Pico won't manage.
Oh.
Whoa.
That's one hell of a roadblock from HVVP. Stalwart getting absolutely torn to shreds as they try and move through the Western Road. HVVP, let them know. Well, actually, hang on a minute. We're the Western champions here. This is what's going on. You're going to have to take a backseat on this. USG, a bit of a scrap with the remnants of Stalwart as they try and find any sort of sanctuary. Top torn down last, so it's Missile to take the shot.
Yeah, that is Stalwart's eliminated in a blink of an eye. The rotations too tough for them and ending up driving past 2 teams by that age.
Edge, Inco roll up as 4 on one of their players. Alpha 7, also close to Bacon Time. Carrillo wants the challenge over the top of the ridge, but doesn't quite win it out. Mythic wants the revenge and will be able to find it. But the backup is better for Bacon Time. The flush actually goes through onto Shirty. Ice hops out, and Mythic now fading the shots, trying to fall back, draw them into the crosshairs of his teammates as well. Noise is there. Mythic cuts around the side, takes him down. Now 2 players on this ridge line as Revo and Mafioso look to go for the backup. Ice and Alm Style, 2 players active now for Bacon Time as Mythic still holding down this anchor position on the front. Pretty isolated though, but Revo moves up for the backup. Alm Style around the side, wants to put those nades around the edge, slow things down, but takes a little bit too much damage himself and ends up going down. Mythic moving into the smoke, will be felled, but here's the backup. Here's Revo, here's Mafioso, and Alpha 7 should stand strong unless Ice can pull something out of the hat, but he goes low into the smoke, jumping around, still hasn't been found, and finally, he's taken out.
What a valiant fight. That's another rematch. Bacon took it over Alpha 7 the first time. Now Alpha 7 taking one over Bacon Time. Great fight. Great hustle from both teams. We saw how fast that engagement happened, but there's still more to be had, John, as Inco having to edge into the zone and Power coming up right next to them, and that is Inco taken out. Now it's You Do Alliance and Inco on the eastern side of the map.
We'll have to try and fight for power around the area there. On the north side, HVVP continued
Situation to be in. The circle still slowly closing in. We still have a couple more fights that have yet to happen. We have Skylightz on the north side here with the USG Donuts and HVVP. All 3 teams might be looking at the same spot for the rotation in here.
Matic down the hillside. AJ not tagging the buggy there. Unfortunate. It's not going to slow HVVP down one jot, then crashing straight on through. Kitsune, though, caught, flushed, open. Mafia Boy will be able to pick that one up, but the rest of HVVP will continue to sling around the ground foothills here. Boro first to go down as Meku opens up with the AKM. Leads the charge on in as well.
Wow.
Matic, Meku, Tixie playing through. Nade over the top of the ridgeline. 2 players now stand in the way for the Skylightz Gaming squad, but here come the USG Donuts, a little bit of a rematch. DBS close range, not gonna matter. Lufa put back in place. And look at that, second to fall as well.
Wow.
Matic is down in the meantime, sure, but Tixi with the Groza will move in as Overwatch pushing on down south. They're going to have to move in and finally maybe getting picked apart. But one player still stands and HVVP will not give up the Ghost. Tixi will swap the weapons, will get the knocks, and he'll keep on going. 9 eliminations.
Are you
There's
kidding
more
me?
on the cards. He's going to move straight on through. He's a dog of war right now. Tixi taking blood for blood right now against Skylightz Gaming on the north side, moves through, doesn't want to let this one go, knows Nima's low, knows he got the tags, spots the players, nope, doesn't see a crate, will go for
No
the spray,
way.
the challenge, and
Oh.
finally put back. It looked a little bit hopeful there. I wanted him to make it happen, but
Shot at by 4 people driving in, you turn the other way. Instead, HVVP just gunned it straight to them. Almost took out the entire team while getting third-partied by USG Donuts and then absolutely slapping the 2 members of USG Donuts down at the same time with fighting another 4-man team. That was absolute madness.
with those points that they were able to pick up. So really good stuff. And I said they were a team I wanted to watch here at Miramar. Seems like I was right to keep an eye out for them. Be seeing them in the next lobby. Shots from 1 Million Esports now controlling. This is a team that's been playing Central for a long time now, Zute.
Yeah, up on the high ground as well. The angle's so nice from up here. Looks like UD Alliance down to last member. I think, is he in? He's in the blue. Yeah, or is he not? No, he's definitely in the blue.
He will be.
Taken
he
down.
is.
Yeah, that's going to be it for UD Alliance. Like I said, not able to keep any of your vehicles up. You're pretty much just locked into that shed, which adds their coffin. As the blue zone slowly creeps in, I think every other team has kind of pretty much made their spots in the zone. We might see another knock or two come out the way, but I think it comes down to if the circle goes up or down. We'll see very shortly. Only two, we do have Damwon too on the high ground before, so they could actually come into play also. And the circle does favor the high ground, as majority of that is on this western side. Damwon.
A little bit here. These ridge lines in front of them, not ideal for moving down when there's a team to your side. If you're only contending with teams beneath you, it's a little bit stronger, but because of that threat, they'll need to be a little bit more cautious.
Yeah, I kind of want to see Damwon just take the initiative to take the fight to Alpha 7, because if they don't fight here now, I feel like it's just going to get more difficult for them on the next circle. But they're safe for now, so just as I say that, Mafioso catches one player out for Damwon. Now Damwon is down to 3. They are kind of making their way towards Alpha 7, but after losing that player, I don't know if they have the info that Alpha 7 lost a player earlier in the match. So they might think it's an unfavorable fight for them as far as the numbers go.
Nova spot USG Donuts up the top of the hill. Order empties the mag, doesn't get the knock. Instead, it's King to be able to pick that one up. They will be looking for the flush. That opens up a little bit of an opportunity as well. They're going to take it. Both hands. Nova straight up that hillside. As soon as they get that knock, they move into a position where they're on that high ground. It's really solid decision-making here. 2 versus 1 around the side of the rock, and Nova will win it out. King is taken down. Can he be picked up by Order? Can they get this res? I'm not entirely sure they have time to go for it right here, but they can crawl forwards, move into a little bit more cover, and play with this ridgeline. An excellent crossing from Nova.
Oh, and also more excellent, always keeping track of the flanks. Paraboy takes some shots, though, down to 1 HP. Caught wide in the open. Paraboy is going to go down here. And that is the member of Power picking up 1, but that should be it, as he is forced into the open and multiple teams taking sightlines on him. It's actually going to be Damwon that confirms that one. Nova down to just actually 1 player now. King in Order knocked. King never got revived. 1 Million could go aggressive here, but then they have Alpha 7 over the top side that could third party. And then on top of that, Damwon could choose to act off of that as well. So I think everyone is going to just kind of play things a little bit slower, allowing the Nova team to get a reset onto 3 between Nova and Alpha 7.
Ooh, down 1. Another knock from Mafioso. Steps up for a second challenge. Fabian, you can't take these 1v1s in Order. Mafioso low, but the rest of the team are rallying on in Alpha 7. Looking good in the fight against Damwon. They're on the swivel. Forest looks for the challenge over the ridgeline and puts Mythic back, but won't fall for another. Revo deals with it, handles business. And Alpha 7 stay alive, but they will have to get this res onto Mythic. This is Nova's go time now, with that Chaos Zone into the Alpha 7 ranks, leaving 3 teams alive. That nade over the top puts 1 Million back in their place.
Yeah, 1 Million even though they have the numbers advantage, with all 4 players coming out of one little chokehold, might not actually play out into their favor. We see the nades coming in, a lot of nade damage, and also Alpha 7 over the top, taking shots at them as well, and that is 1 member down from Venom.
Venom falls on the outside, gets to cover across the way, but Nova are spreading out their line very, very effectively. Shots again from Alpha 7 up top, 8 eliminations with 2 in the oven to pick on up, but Nova steals one of those away. They pull it out, and they're pulling 1 million out of this compound as well. Only Lazy Boy is there. Order knocked back by a nade, so still a chance on the egress. Sprays from down low onto Revo from King. Actually, Mafioso falling as well. King last standing for Nova down the bottom. Hang on a minute. No, he's got Jimmy still in action. 1 million eliminated. Jimmy moving forwards. 1 player to fall. Jimmy goes down in the 1 versus 1, but now it's Mythic versus King. 1 versus 1 on the hillside.
Oh!
And it comes from the top rope. It's Alpha 7. Gonna be able to pop off for Brazil.
They just took it over. I mean, what else can you do?
That
is the one
King's
team
a Miramar,
you do
man.
not want to get zoned.
Yeah, incredibly impressive. Early on, they kind of pushed back HVVP up on that kind of northeastern side. And yes, that phase 1.
That's a game in there with 29 points. Bacon, even though they didn't have one of the greatest performances, the performance that they had there on Erangel allows them to be there within the top 3. And HVVP, man, what an impressive play by Tixie as well, Imperium.
Closer together on the Northwest Island. Instead, the Pittsburgh Knights kind of playing that drop that HVVP were going for before in a couple of tournaments. They're playing split around that confluence.
Yeah, and it looks like the only hot drop would be around the Ruins area. This might be more of an elongated fight with Inko and Damwon Gaming.
I don't think Inko want part of this right now. I imagine Becca's just beating a hasty retreat. But then again, the rest of the players can move in, find some angles. If Forrest is caught out in the open, a really good opening. His left flank is very, very exposed, but Becca being a little bit more drafty right now. As the rest of Damwon are rolling straight on in. They know there's a player here, has only got that UMP, unlikely to have meds on this early of the drop. Junie bringing that DBS in. They pioneered it back in PMWI to bring it back to the forefront of the meta. So DBS will be looking to enter into this one as well. Out for the knock, out for the flush.
Man, Damwon descended upon him like bloodhounds right there. And it looked like you said, the rest of Inko had wanted no part of that. That's 1 player down. We're going to get a second casualty already. So no hard hot drops, but the action is going to pick up very quickly as Evos will lose a player as well.
So Power on the north side, on the northwest side of Paradise Resort. A little bit of a spread drop for Power. Kante at the moment on the southeast side will bear the brunt of the egress from Evo from Paradise Resort. And we'll be able to hold out strong. I mean, they've lost, as you say, not fully lost the player just yet, but there's no way you get that player back up. Evos maybe being baited out by Kante.
Another engagement here between Stalwart and the Knights. I don't think Spec has any idea whatsoever that Pika is right there.
Godlike Stalwart, it's pretty crucial that they secure a route out of boot camp, and this is what Pika's going for. Caught in the cross. Spec blindsided there. Pittsburgh Knights lose a player on what was probably one of the stronger positions as well, which is really unfortunate with that set of with that confluence of rivers that
dominant control. This time it's going to come down to Fireflux doing a quick rotation, getting 1, 2, 3, maybe the entirety of STE here.
Godlike Stalwart, they've just been picked up on rotations, I think twice in a row now.
Yeah.
It's been so unfortunate for them. Pika now the last standing for the squad. Fireflux looking to burn him out of position as well. Once again, retreats to the edge of the shack, lines up 2, but it's not going to be enough. And Godlike Stalwart fall down 16th place. It is not
camp area that the former Stalwarts team was just at. Here's that quick replay. The 1, 2, 3, and just getting cut down to shreds right there.
What do you do? What can you do?
Yeah.
You just get blindsided.
Oh, look at that.
Fireflux as the backstop for all of these teams on the eastern side. It all depends really on when Fireflux decide to move, and that's going to be a difficult decision for them to make. They're in this circle. They don't need to move right now. So I imagine we might see quite a few teams start to move south around Fireflux, potentially even moving through Painan into where Udo Alliance are and Nova are on that western side. Inko, not looking super healthy. They only have 2 players remaining and they're wild split. So V2, 2K at the moment, basically a solo for Bacon time to pick up if they drop down a level, but it seems like keeping quiet's working out for now.
Yeah, a lot of nooks and crannies here in this ruins area. I don't think Bacon Time's actually gonna be able to find him. Like, if the zone keeps ending here, there's a good chance he might just chill here for the rest of the game. As Nova getting caught off. Nova right now looking at the map, they were playing a huge 1-1-1-1 split, and
Forced to fight on this lateral north-south line. V22K, okay, I'm going to hop it right back over to Ruins. Remember, this is the solo player from Inco. Going up against the entirety of Bacon Time, holding his nerve on this staircase. We'll be able to spot the player close to it. Wants to put a nade in from Noise. It's a little bit too long on the cook, but down they go, flooding in.
Through all those teams to get up there. So
I beg to differ, Zute. There is, because they've done it. I mean, it's like...
I mean, did they loop back around from the east deep into the blue? I don't know. I am so
Maybe they
confused.
did. Maybe they came. Maybe they swung up north. Well, whatever it was. Pièce de resistance of rotation right there. I have no idea how it happened. But we're going to hop back on board with Udo Alliance. Last player remaining. Olio on the outside. Playing off in the blue against that one, who've got one player stuck a little bit in the sidelines, but two players further forwards. Forest finds the route of egress, but gets cut down in the time being. A spray down gets a flush to bring the elimination count up to 3. You can still heal out this phase of the blue. There's 5 flux. They do go down, so that's the end of their road. But goodness me, don't know how that happened. Down 1, 2 players left really. Sung, and actually Junie gets picked up and going to be eliminated in the meantime. This south side, I mean, it is turning into a bit of a brawl now.
Yeah, Microboy really showing his experience on the Pmgc stage here. Last one for Evos. Surprised he managed to get all the way in here. Last we checked in on them, they were caught against Alpha 7 and the Fireflux team, but Microboy standing strong for his team, putting up a lot of placement points and elimination points here. And that nade might actually catch him. Udo Alliance still alive, runs in, and Microboy will finish that one out. The Knights also go down to the side of Nova. Nova staying strong, 1 million, fighting against Bacon Time, but meanwhile, the Grim Reapers, that is HVVP, is just slicing everyone down from the top side.
They've been biding their time, but now they can start to rack up power. They can rank it on in, turn the wheel, put everyone under pressure. 1 million fight against Bacon Time still raging on this west side, but the blue zone's going to prove to be a difficult barrier to breach. Microboy chiming in with a third party to bring down Bacon Time. Looks for more as well. Last player for Evos. This is Microboy. I mean, we've seen this name for so long, and he's bringing it back here on Evos.
6 eliminations by himself right now on Sandhawk. He is, wow. I mean, I just want to say this.
At this stage, barring any super hard shifts, but what more can be done? 1 million moving on the broadside against Microboy. We know how that's going to go. He is out in the blue zone. He's not going to go for the swim. He's just going to pick up the point.
Well done.
Bring it up to 8. 6th place. Absolutely well done.
Yeah, nice composure. Yeah, 5th. Yeah, nice composure to not worry about the blue and trying to go in, and he maximizes another point. HVVP coming down from the northern side, getting shot at by Nova and Vampire. So HVVP, as strong as the position they're in, it's not as nice as it might seem.
Once they can pick up these teams on the south, if they can dispatch Nova, who, by the way, again, survived late into it. With the zone shifting away from Vampire, now it's a little bit more all to play for.
Another rematch between Nova and HVVP potentially. Yeah, Vampire's got to make a move. They're going to be wide in the open. HVVP has the cover, so does Nova. Nova has that ridge side to work with. And there is still one player out of 1 million that they have to watch out for. Paraboy finds one. That is Meku down, while Order dealing with the eastern side. This Nova team looking strong, but Jimmy goes down here.
Looking like the seals at the moment, just emerging from the water, not causing a ripple and blasting away. Stone up and forwards, actually taking down Jimmy earlier. He's traded off by Paraboy. We know he's quick on the trigger. Actually, was that Order coming in as well with 2 barrels pointed that way? HVVP trying to move into the circle. None of them are going to go down. They take a top and bottom position on the rock.
Nice.
We'll be able to operate Tixie again on the warpath. 3 players now alive for HVVP as they continue to move forward. They're pepper potting in. Order on the broadside to Marshall, the solo player from 1 million, proving to be devastating to the backlines.
Oh, now it's just down to Paraboy, and there's 3 of HVVP. Oh, Paraboy could get this one off. Nice headshots right there, but he crosses over, stays alive. He will survive for a little bit longer, and he does have the zone. He might even get, just maybe, get the revive onto Order.
HVVP, they'll know that Marshall's there now. He took shots over. I don't know if Order can make this crawl. Paraboy might be able to make the mad dash, and in fact will dip low for it,
This is
under
huge.
the headland, over to the rock. If he can get these reses, great, but he sees these players lining up on the rock. He knows there's 2 there now. Shouldn't have too many more smokes, I'd imagine. I wonder if he's got too many nades. Marshall
Oh, that's a
certainly
knock.
doesn't. There's Tixie found. Excellent position. Nova are not chiming in. They're looking for those reses. Kitsune potentially on the lineup. Matic spotted. It is taken
Oh
out by
my.
Paraboy. HVVP getting caught open. Marshall, last player, but it's Kitsune to stay alive. Can he stick the res? A nade
Oh,
over the
here it
top might
comes.
be all it takes. And it looks perfect. It looks like it's on the money, but where's the explosion? It's not coming through. Just a little bit
Oh.
wide, but 2 more might be the final nail in the coffin. Kitsune forced to go for the challenge.
What a
It's not
game.
even going to matter. Nova rise from the depths. The river will not stop them. They get the cross, and it is a winner-winner chicken dinner from Nova.
Wow. You can't write a better story than that game that just happened right there. The 2 Titans, Nova and HVVP, one. They are going
Look like it is.
straight to GAC.
Oh no.
Oh.
3 players from. There's a late drop from one of the Power players or a split drop potentially, but Power currently operating with 3. There comes Kante onto the rooftops as well. No weapons to be seen, and it's going to pop off a lot faster this time around. Jimmy immediately dispatches D7H. First blood over to the Nova squad, and that is great news. They've turned it around as well in terms of position. They forced Power into the position that they held last time around. Order playing the revolver right now. The weapons at the back, not super strong. Jimmy had that auto shotgun. Cat's actually having some decent weaponry on board.
I gotta give major, huge credit to Nova. This is a team.
Say,
Yeah.
I'm going to jump across right now because the circle's just popped, and it is
Where is it?
Sosnovka. It is hard military base on this circle.
Oh, it is.
So we are going to be heading down
Oh.
south. Everybody's going to have to cross. So
Oh.
not only are we going to get this exciting pop-off at the start, but we're going to get this conflict on the road.
Oh man. Well, this definitely speeds up this fight for sure, right? Like with it being on military base, you gotta finish this one quick. It is a 4v3. We saw what happened last time though. Power had the 4v3 advantage and they still lost. And it's the same thing, but just flipped around. Nova's pushing in from the same exact side that Power pushed in from. So we might see something similar where the team that gets the advantage goes down, but this is Nova. This is the veteran team. Usually when a veteran team has an advantage, they won't throw it away.
Certainly hope if you're a Nova fan. Chinese roster playing forward. Paraboy with the Molotov in hand wants to just burn.
And this fight did slow down, and I like what Power is doing here. They're sending one player a little bit further out as kind of a trap in case Nova pushes further into the side of Power.
But they're isolating their players as well. If Nova just go for a full crash, there's no way really you can go for this backup play. You're going to be basically relying on trades, and with Aziz going down on the sidelines, you're going to isolate those fights even further. That's the spray, that's the flush. Order holding out. Micro is at that range. Solid spray.
I didn't even know you could use that spot like that. Wait, hold
Yeah, look at that.
Wait, how did he get on that roof? There's no stairs up to that water. I'm pretty sure that roof.
Maybe a vehicle?
Man.
Not entirely sure. We'll have to double check on that because at the moment it's the last stand coming through outside of the field. The off angle falls, and there's the last one to go. Order
Clean.
puts the final nail in. They're not going to let this one go 4v3. Jimmy does get knocked, but they're absolutely fine with it.
One team got a direct. Oh, uh-oh. HVVP and Nova again clashing. And this might actually work for Nova as HVVP just got surrounded. They haven't even confirmed Jimmy yet. Order firing off some shots, missing some crucial bullets. But once again, King, as I said, he will hold it down. Order actually did get knocked, so King is the last one up. 1v2 and no first aids.
Tixie behind the vehicle, not going to take those shots yet. The cover from the car just a little bit too strong. Wants to put a nade back uphill. King, though, ticking away low, steps out wide and goes boom. 2 players down, and in comes Udo Alliance with the solo outlook here. They were really too close. Everybody else has left, but he's going to prove to be troublesome for HVVP, bringing them down to 1 player going. Matic falls. This is disaster for these 2 top of the tables teams. This is a chance for 1 million to step up, for Alpha 7 and Bacon Time to try and challenge for one of those top 3 spots.
Oh, why did you do Alliance? I don't agree with that.
I mean, they're leaving a player out back, and it's worked out. They've swept 2 of the strongest teams in the lobby away from being a problem.
4-man pull up on Solus like they did to Nova. But they're going to keep rotating. But
Oh,
Fireflux, they have the angles, they have everything set up. HVVP will lose 1 player for sure, but a return
Sheesh.
fire.
gives them a swift haircut there. Going to be looking smart for the ground, unfortunately. The Second duo rotating past Soul Kane, not quite connecting on the spray. Running out of ammo. Matic has cover. Solus sailing wide with that spray. Wrong tree, my friend. Matic has the opportunity to go for a heal. The zone will be pushing in, but with Ketch down, they're losing that middle player. They're losing that middle position, and now HVVP can start to exploit. Kitsune being down, sure, unlikely you're going to get that back up, but the rest of the team, they're still on the warpath.
You realize HVVP is winning this fight right now?
It's
They drove in, lost a player against the 4-man split setup defense out of Fireflux, and HVVP is the one that's winning this fight.
They just got pulled apart. The nades just completely tore them down now. 2 players on the front eliminated, and with that, I mean, you said they were winning the fight before. How about now? 3v1.
I just had to make sure that sunk in. It was like, you know, HVVP is the one winning this fight, and they will pick up 2 points right here. Solus, I'm pretty sure, will go down, will not get revived. And oh my god,
Too easy.
Tixie, my man.
This guy is absolutely one you do not want to come across in the battlefield. Soul K,
Yeah, just
last
turn tail.
standing. Yeah,
Turn
just
tail.
get out of there.
Run away, man.
Wow, wow, wow. 5 eliminations already, but over in the middle.
Push to action. Stalwart's in a much better
There it
position
is.
now. Yeah, and like
It's already
clockwork.
popping off. Tixie goes over the top, tags a couple, and gets back with a flush. Stays alive with all of them. Bacon time, they're not going to have an answer. Not yet. Tixie has another nade. Cooking up towards the smoke. Spots the player dodging out right. Goes for the spray. Not quite going to get knocked. That is Noise actually answering with a volley of fire with the AKM. Fortunately, there's teammates for Tixie. I know it doesn't seem like it sometimes, but he's low. Can they go in? Can they stick this res? Meku going to have to make the dash. Matic tags it first. Blooms the smoke. Keeps him alive.
That's an MVP player right there. When you have 2 teammates left and they're both beelining it towards you to make sure the revive goes through. But yeah, he was very low. And Bacon time actually now down to 1. I think they got into somewhat of a long distance crossfire, so it's not just HVVP they had to worry about. HVVP, they're not the ones to necessarily close out that fight, but HVVP are the ones to push that fight and force Bacon time out of position. And HVVP now will have to contest with Damwon. Okay, I said they're only a 3-man team, but they're playing pretty much like if it's a 4-man team.
I mean, we heard that interview with Alpha 7, right, coming through, where they were saying, oh, you know, it doesn't matter how many of us are alive, we always feel like a full squad. HVVP, they are laying that bare on the battlefield. 3 of them alive, 7 eliminations with 12 teams remaining. 11 teams now after the last team went out, but this is a really big game again from them. Already picking up 7 eliminations. They might be on the chase for Nova if they can keep it on going.
Oh, I think they've passed Nova
Nova,
up.
yeah, now.
Yeah, they've passed Nova up already. And that zone is going to help HVVP out as well. We've already seen 3 strong dominant games out of HVVP. And if they were to go out right now, I would say this is a strong dominant game for them already. Man, this team is, you know, last year Pmgc, they did not get that first place position. And I think that really pissed them off because this team has been just in the grind ever since. And they are looking like nothing like before, like absolutely insane. But Damwon will get the opening. Will they push this fight though?
Ooh, looks like they might want to figure something out. I think they just want to regroup into the zone because it is crunching in. HVVP, they're diminished down to 2. If they went out right now, I believe the placement points would tip them over because currently it's a draw exactly with Nova, and they would add on that placement point, and they lose another. But it is right down to the wire at this stage. Tixie getting shot out, only Matic remaining.
Yeah, I think this is the end. This is the end of HVVP. He's forced to
Oh,
step
don't
up.
count
He
it.
gets 1.
Don't count those chickens yet. Matic is still going. He's got the nade.
He's sandwiched though. He's sandwiched. It's really hard.
Oh, he's given
Shots
the
coming in. The second one.
Turns it around. Matic finds one more, and he's up for a challenge. He's going for yet another. Has the DP. So many bullets in the magazine, but finally, it's Inco. Third party is the only way to take down HVVP. They were so close to it. 2 players stepped up to bat for that one. It felt like they should have had more. Now they can look to control on the southeast side, but they are outside of the zone. They'll have to move forwards, and Eva are in the way.
Everything kind of right now, in my opinion, comes down to Inco. Everybody in the zone should just kind of chill in the zone. Is Inco going to decide to go down south and take the southern side, which will be bad news for the Knights, or are they going to swing up north? Inco has full control to do either option right now, and with 4 people, they have the firepower.
Alpha 7. Spread out a little bit. Baseline on the southeast side. Inko squash low. Fluketh gets the angle. Mini 14 is good. And they pick up the point as well. Inko lose a player on that western edge. Pittsburgh Knights still very, very close. You can see them under that ridgeline. Excellent step up from action from Godlike Stalwart. And this is the game that we wanted to see from this roster. I mean, they've been flagging. You saw the frustration in the last game.
Yeah.
It looks
So
like
finally deciding to make a play, and they choose the worst one of all. They go down the middle, which opens up silence from everyone onto them. I want to see them do a hard swing to the north or a hard swing down south. But going down straight the middle, they will get blown to bits. Inko now down to 1. And I think everyone else is pretty much in zone. Inko still has 1 player that needs to make it in, but I don't think he's getting into this circle.
yeah, Vito 2K got to be really suffering now. After losing Nenabete there. Vampire needs downhill, good rolls on them, and Stoned is going to follow it up. Gathering no moss as he tumbles down the hillside. Tensor low around the side. The flush is priority, and Top actually proving to be a third party. Coops falls, and actually they're trading back and forth. There's third parties that are ruining this push from Vampire. Stoned really very low, and everybody's suffering, seeming.
Out of Alpha 7. We do see Alpha 7's down to 3, so I think Mythic is probably the one calling it out for them as well. Alpha 7 with 3, Stalwarts with 4. We still have the Donuts team. USG Donuts been very quiet on the northern side, just playing and biding their time. And then Stalwarts looks like they have the edge of zone close to them, but it is not a good spot. So USG will have to commit somewhere. I feel like they're going to be looking at Evos' direction, and Alpha 7 making a move right here. And oh no!
Boom goes the car. Schweppes puts the DBS to work. Picks up 2 points for Vampire Esports. Last action. Top, Pika, all staying strong. They have so much control over this zone.
Absolute control. Mafioso forced to run down now. Is he? He might be in zone on that. Oh, never mind. Mafioso goes out. We're down to 3 teams. And USG is still up. They got the revive. It's 2v2 here with 4 players of... They should definitely move off of that knock. They have the numbers, they have the angles, they have everything. They need to get more elimination points, not just the chicken here, with how bad of a 3-game Stalwarts have had so far.
Although, to be fair, just getting that chicken dinner after the games they've had would be great news. It looks like they're going to get it. Look at the movements that they've made. They pushed up. They're controlling the ridgeline. They know that they're going to have the center of the next zone as well.
Yeah.
There's no way that they go down here. I would put a good amount of money on it. It's just no way that it happens.
All the UC in the world. Yeah, they just need
Absolutely.
to maximize points. They get 1, they get 2. There's only 2 points left. They should look to get both of these. And no way can they throw this now. I want to see them commit, like try really hard to get 1 more point, because they should know both of these teams are just going to die to the blue otherwise.
Yeah, Action really wants to hunt this one down. They know there's a player in the shack. It looks like they know that where Redface is. There's the nade. There's the point. Action knows the bathroom will be the place of the final hold. For Evos, it won't be enough with just the 1 player, but the rest of them flood on
Nicely
in.
done.
And Godlike Stalwart, what a relief for this roster.
Oh no.
Dear, another
Shotgun.
difficult position. This
my
is
God.
not good news for Oh no. Oh, this is awful. Godlike
drive-by.
Stalwart. It's back to business for Stalwart. They are getting torn up. 1 player left, and we're only 3 minutes into the game.
That was
Oh, I feel so bad for those boys.
that was a drive-by with shotguns and a Winchester.
That's...
Okay, all right. Spec
I
here.
mean, anybody but Stalwart, please.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't even think that's a table slam moment for them. I think that's just a sign of like, you know.
Guess here we go again.
Yeah. All right, Spec. He's got support. He's got supporting sight lines, so Spec is able to back up some. So playing to his teammates really well, but getting shot from a different angle is going to force him back inside the building, and Spec will go down. 3v4 situation. The Knights on the back foot. It kind of comes down to Xenox's position. If they don't know he's up here, and that's a big if, Xenox might be able to do something.
We'll hear those footsteps underneath.
Exactly, yeah.
So knows there's a player up top there for them. Stoned on the outlook. Tensor. Coops holding on the high ground at the back. Looking for a little bit of an answer. Fluketh with that Winnie. Wants to sling a round or 2 out towards Tensor, but Tensor's not giving him an inch.
Slowing down a little bit here. It looks like Vampire, with that advantage, it looks like they're going to spread out a little bit to find an angle. I think they're mainly trying to deal with Xenox. I think they know he's up here. And I do believe if he gets all the way to the...
There it is.
Yep. The Knights now down to 2 players.
Ravenclaw does get answer towards Coops is still on the warpath.
Oops, again.
Picks up the backstop, and that could be quite important, although losing Xenox early, it's not going to be ideal. Leaves Coops and Tensa operating as a duo. In the meantime, hang on a minute, Nova running down.
Power
Hang on,
again.
wait, Gakka was in the last map. Gakka was the last time. Come on, stop that.
I'm looking here. Okay, so
Northeast.
yeah, so Nova's looting Minas, and that's actually, I love how we don't even have time to talk about where the first circle comes up. Before this match, I'm like, the most important thing coming into this mirror match is the plane path and circle, and we haven't even touched on the circle yet. Circle is northeast, dead center is Minas, and that is where Nova's looting. HVVP losing 1 member, 1 million, getting a bit more aggressive now as they do get a knock. He's looking for the confirmation, but the rest of HVVP is here to bail out Tixie, their MVP player so far for the day.
I'm surprised Venom didn't hop out for that. I feel like he had time. He had the position, but being so split on the back from 1 million, they are completely on the way. Maybe they were just like, you know what? Just don't even bother. We're not going to try and challenge HVVP. We know how strong they are in fights. We've seen that over the last couple of games.
Yeah. HVVP will get that reset. And so that fight with Power. So Power was actually, I think it was just a very delayed rotation to the plane path. Power's going up to El Azahar. They swung through Minas, and they were able to catch 1 player. Alpha 7 now in Inko taking fight. Nice swing out by Revo with the M16. He's going to pick up an elimination. And this is all the way in the northeast. So Alpha 7 did end up rotating from the northwest all the way to the northeast, looting that Campo Militar area. And Inko's also there. And we got another fight happening with the last lone member. This might be 2 points for him. I don't think they know there's a solo player here. He might pick up the 1v2.
He's playing at the top of the staircase as well. Likely that he can pick up at least 1 here if Solkay goes up the staircase. Oh!
Nope.
Lutz saw him. He was ready. That is... I mean...
I think he left the vehicle.
It's to the top of the bell tower. Try and dribble one down, but Missile gets caught with an excellent bank off the door frame from 52K. Picks up 3 points for that one. Unfortunately not in the tables, but it certainly would be a swish.
Swish indeed. Got 2 more nades coming in. We do have 1 player of Inko on the mountaintop providing support, but I feel like in this close encampment area, and Inko down to... Does he go out? Yeah, Inko only down to 3. He might need to just drive down here and take the fight straight to USG, and USG answers back with another nade.
There's going to be nades on top of this engagement. I think they're going to figure out which buildings they're in, which corners they're hiding around, and just pop that ordnance down range. 52K. Still, though, uncontested at this stage. It's on the north side of the current circle. We'll close in just a little bit. V2K gets information. Sees the player pushing close.
Yeah. Missile's like, someone needed me, okay? Somebody needed me, and it's not the guy in the church. There's someone still here. They're looking for him. But it looks like Ninevete has problems of his own as he retreats from the fight and runs into a power member. It's a 1v3 pretty much for him here. And he gets tagged in the back by a different team completely. Look at where the circle is going. Ninevete down to 1 HP. Not looking good on the low ground as well. Not much he can do here. He might just want to lay low. And there we go. Support fire from the other team of Evos actually gets the knock.
Keeps him alive. Actually has the medkit as well, so can get back to full HP. A nice little turn of events for Ninevete. Up and over the ridge. Looks for the flush, looks for the spray, and it's good. That is bold, but it needs to happen. When you're down to 2 like that, it's just a good trade. You take that point where you can get it. You know you're not going to get too much further. VT2K might have an impact on this fight as well.
I like how he's scooched from next to the doorway all the way back to beneath the stairs, trying to stay as small as possible right now. Last member up. And is pulled away from the water, so we do have this flat, hilly high ground in play. We see a lot of teams starting to converge around here. And then we do have, down to the middle of the map, we have that road splitting right in between everything with some very strong compounds, too, left to play along the roadside.
Evos playing with 4 very central in a compound in their buildings. They've got oversight over the hills. The power currently occupying a whole host of teams are ready to slip on in behind if the opportunity presents itself. Nova taking a wide split over towards Junkyard Way on the southeast of it.
HVVP on this very southeastern side. They don't have anybody to their back besides 1 solo member of the Yudu Alliance, which might cause trouble. And Donwan Gaming is here now. Now it's USG versus Donwan Gaming, and there's still that solo player of Vitu lying in the wake.
Well, Donwan are going to be much more cautious of it. They might get spotted. V2K stands up though and looks for the point, looks for the flash, able to get it done. And Donwan are thinking, hang on a minute, there's 2 teams here? What's going on? USG Donuts will flee around the side. There's only 1 of their players, leaving 1 of them behind. Just Lufa on the inside has got some nice angles to play with. Floods out towards the south side of the building. Trying to play, but there's a broadside to the mountain. Down 1 moving on in. Want to take control, but Missile's there and forces them to a single side of this engagement.
Yeah, Lufa right now really needs to play in the support lines of his 2 teammates on the high ground, but instead he isolates himself inside the building. More difficult, easier said than done, actually, should I say, for Lufa in that situation, as there's other teams coming near the top side. Skylightz Gaming now on the northern side. A lot of teams on that area looking to get a piece of the action. For them as Tensa accidentally mollies himself. Coops, 1 HP, gets taken out, and that is the...
Fireflux trying to keep this spread going, and it's working out for now in a central location. they don't really have to worry too much about EVOS because they have got this nice high ground. Actually, it looks like they might want to regroup, actually, clump a little bit closer together. That's their decision.
Yeah. And it's always tough in this situation when you have so many ridges to work with. Not sure where to go. Bacon time. One player running into Paraboy, and Paraboy almost goes down, but wins that one. That was a crucial one right there as Bacon Time's looking to pressure the side of Nova and take over the Western control of the zone. But that one knock might just send Bacon Time packing the other way.
Inco eliminated as well in the meantime. Not doing quite so well as their Brazilian compatriots. Alpha 7 way further up the tables at the moment. Nova and HVVP just that little bit further ahead. Nova playing on the southwest side, HVVP split on the south. They did take care of the solo player on their south from U2 Alliance earlier on, so there is no longer that snake threat.
1 million on the northeast, fighting with Damwon Gaming. It is just a slow grind of a fight right now. Everybody's just trying to stay alive to see the next zone rather than full committing in fights. The terrain also makes it extremely difficult, right? Both teams, no matter where they're fighting, has all these ridges to work with, and pushing over the top of a ridge, always dangerous. As more action happening in the elimination feed, and Skylightz Gaming find themselves caught against the side of Alpha 7. A lot of long-range exchanges here, too.
U2 Alliance taking shots from 1 million on the northeast side. Down one, already taking a knock. That north edge looking a little bit hot right now, pretty spicy. As you say, that engagement starting to pop off. Alpha 7 really running it down, though. And will be dogged in their pursuit of these eliminations. 2 already found in the shack. They've managed to corner Borrow for Skylightz Gaming. And they will look to put the final nail in. Carrillo is there, and he'll catch this rotate. No way you get away from him. And that is Skylightz down. They will be eliminated 12th place. Alpha 7 up to 5 limbs on the north side.
Yeah, Alpha 7, always the aggressor. Works out great for them. 1 million actually getting very aggressive here. This is what I like to see. They've been playing very quiet and consistent. This is not a fight that they have to take per se, but they know they have the advantage, and they're looking to find the angles. It's always better to clear out your side of the circle rather than waiting. All they need is one nade right there where that smoke clump is, and that's a 2-pointer for the side of 1 million. But it looks like they're starting to back up instead.
Dropping some smokes from 1 million. U2 Alliance, they are 3 players right now. So aren't really super keen to go for this fight. I mean, they know that 1 million are there. Venom moving in as the backstop. Redface, lone player for EVOS, going to hold off 1. And actually the entrance is blocked by the vehicle. They have to go for a second. Looks for 2. Can't quite line up for the 3rd. It looked close, but EVOS lose their outpost. Unfortunately, though, for down 1, they've taken a hefty hit over in their compound. And look at this backup coming on through. Perfect timing. Can they keep that crash going? But in the meantime, Fireflux a little bit further to the west, suppressing lines. Going down to the vehicle explosion. SKF doesn't even turn his attention that way, and EVOS roll on through. It's going to work out against down 1. We're now down to 1.
That was a good response by EVOS. Maybe if they were just a little bit more ready for a potential crash on their isolated player, they could have came over and helped quicker and keep all 4 up. So they will lose 1 because of that. Meanwhile, on the western side, Nova has just been methodically working their way in on the western edge. And HVVP, of course, somehow finding a knock onto King. These 2 teams just cannot stop damaging each other. And it's actually answered back by, I believe that was USG getting a knock onto HVVP. I love how this ending circle is playing out. It's not just a close-range fight. It is long-range third parties with close-range fights mixed in.
Jimmy getting pressured by Vampire, who have been playing really consistent. This ball on the southwest side finally getting cut out in the open, and it's Fireflux to play spoiler. That AUG does so much damage at the mid-range. Really nice blinking coming through. Tap fire is good. Lights it up. And the fire burns down on the wick of Nova.
Yeah, Nova realized they were in a tough spot and took a gamble to rotate, but 2 players did not make it. Order is the last one up, though. If there's any solo player out of Nova that usually is able to utilize and maximize points as a solo, it is Order. I have seen Order do great things in the PEL as the last man remaining. So we'll see how this one plays out as the next zone about to shift on out.
Flux, the 2 that currently still in this. Downward Gaming and Bacon Time, trying to stay away from that bubble.
Order right now being pressured by Vampire. He's the last one up. Nades are raining in. He's in a good spot, though, because those hay bales, it can easily deflect the nades. It's hard to kind of throw the perfect arc in.
Oh,
and Order doing Order things, firing right back. He could get this next one, too. He already picked up 1. Second player takes a lot of damage. Ravenclaw starting to bleed out here. They need to deal with order now. Stone, if anything, just needs to crash right in, but he's getting third party by Meku.
Oh, the top two of the lobby teaming up on Vampire right now. It's going to be really hard to keep Fluke alive out of this. Ravenclaw, I think you're done for here, mate. Let's be honest. In comes Ketch
it was actually Fireflux.
Ketch with the Orm, pops the big green gun, and Solke swings in, and Stone gets... Okay, Vampire have had a nightmare here, to be fair. Fireflux actually striking out south. They want in on this fight. HVVP chiming through as well. Order is being kept alive by 3 different teams right now.
Yeah. Oh, don't stick. Oh, that was a close one. That was a close one. That's a haircut right there. And for Fireflux, if they just get a little bit more aggressive, if they sweep a little bit further down the side, I do think they have great sideline onto the entirety of HVVP here, too. So you see Soul K right now pretty much anchoring down the south side. So Fireflux, if they wanted to, they could stick their heads out a little bit more and cause more damage to the rest of the lobby while still remaining very safe.
The thing now about Order is that his position is known. People know that he's in this area, in this position. So it could be a little bit more tricky. You do Alliance to be able to come good on a game, and Solo's getting picked up by Order, who's still going.
Order.
Solo player.
Yeah, the most deadly solo player right here. Just can't take him down. He's gonna blow up that buggy. Maybe get the confirmation here.
Look at the arrows. The arrows from HVVP, they're turning their way. And over up on the northeast side, Alpha 7 are clashing with 1 million at the moment. They're falling short of the mark. 2 players falling in Alpha 7, getting torn asunder here. Nova will be finally eliminated as Order falls to... I didn't quite catch who.
It was an
able
arm.
to pick that one up. Oh, it was an arm shot coming through from Fireflux.
Yeah.
Alpha 7 on 2. Solke spotted. Matic picks it up.
This is looking really good for HVP. Like I said, if they have to move north, they have these ridges to work with. That puts them in a great advantage over everyone on the high ground. Alpha 7 not done and doesn't yet. I thought they were done for, but they're turning it right back onto 1 million. It's actually Revo and his partner Carrillo. 2v4 situation here, John?
They are moving through like a hot knife through butter on this north side. Only one player stands in their way now. Can they keep it going? HVVP on the south side similarly moving strong. Senke, the last for 1 million, still standing. As the flush comes through, Alpha 7 getting that flush. Nade over towards Ketch, just short of the vehicle. HVVP swing down south.
On the side of the Alpha 7 fight, they did get traded back, so now it's down to 1v1. I think they're going to go for a revive on that northeastern side. HVVP right now just sitting pretty. Down to 3, but they have a lot of control, and no one's taking shots at them, and they know everyone else is busy fighting. That is Ketch out to the play zone. We still got a solo out of Dom Gaming Forest right there, just laying low, and this fight is still continuing to slug on.
Revo finds the re-knock, and now it's just Marshall playing backstop for 1 million. Can't look for this flush, but the shots might come through from Marshall. We saw him be a sneaky solo player before. Over on Sandhook, but yeah, here they go. Oh, I thought they were going to break out wide, go for the wide swing. They know he's there, they catch an ankle, look for the shots. Carrillo taken low, actually has to hit the deck. Revo has the goods though, and will come up good with them. Alpha 7 stay alive with 2, but HVP in the meantime have moved across the terrain. They are up and on the hillside.
This is a perfect chance for Evos at third party. If Alpha 7 could get a knock onto HVVP, I feel like HVVP is kind of exposing themselves down the middle. No, actually, that ridge line and slope is so steep. It's actually a great spot for them to just be in. When is Evos going to make a
Maybe even move a little bit further forwards. They've managed to rack up quite an impressive elimination count. If HVVP go down now, they definitely have the points profit total, but the circle will close, and they are right on the edge of it. Center controlled. HVVP launched that nade. Shots ringing out towards Evos as well, but Alpha 7 bearing the brunt of everybody's damage. Meku spotted by Carrillo, but he will not be able to bring it back. And again, Matic and Tixi on that ridgeline will be able to stay alive. Carrillo finally dispatched, and now it's a 2 versus 2 coming through for HVVP and Evos.
tight fight? It looks like it's going to be a 2v1 as Tixi goes down. Meku's got the MK14 though, but they're going to get the revive. It's going to be 1v3. It's not looking good for HVVP from this downhill angle.
They have the center of the zone, and it is closing. It's going to force them there. Does he not see Microboy? I don't think he caught it. Will spot him now, though. Takes a nice little lick and a second as well. Has the time to heal, as there's no chance that they can go for these reses. With the zone pushing in, it's going to go in for the nades. No, he doesn't have any left in the back pocket. Tixi flushed out. No information more. Meku sees the run forwards, sees the dash, has managed to get the heal off, has the sims ticking up, but has the health disadvantage around the side. HVVP claim it, and finally they find the chicken dinner.
PUBG Mobile Global Championships Group Green. 22 total points. These guys were already in first place. Man, have they put a nice lead ahead of themselves.
Yeah, they're definitely going to put a nice lead ahead of them with Nova, because Nova ended up with just 6 points. They're being able to put up 22 points. By the way, with only 2 players. That's what's so impressive, and that's what we've been seeing over and over again out of HVVP today so far. It doesn't matter if it's just 1 player alive. It doesn't matter if it's 2 players alive. It's so hard to actually eliminate them, Imperium.
On this drop, it looks like we are going to see both Power and Nova heading out that direction already. I feel like we might be seeing this again. I feel like we have another hot drop on the cards. I'm wondering if this is a little bit of HVVP. They have been on the warpath really, really significantly. Kitsune hasn't had as much impact on those damage tables. Ooh, Paraboy. We'll pause
It's
that.
Power once again.
Ooh, that's not good for Paraboy. Will be plowed onto plenty of players. Skylightz gonna try and res up on that central island and move through. Down one, moving into Vampire, but it is being traded off back and forth. The staircase, brutal, but the stone blast to fall, and down one will take them down. 16th place for Vampire. 6th place overall. I mean, 39 points isn't bad on the day. It's going to put them in 6th for now. Teams around them looking to leapfrog, and actually down one, probably the worst team to give those eliminations over towards.
Yeah, that's a huge circle shift. You know, I was saying earlier at the beginning of the day, you know, with the circle sizing differences, the shifts won't be as bad, but I think that's the biggest hardship we've seen yet. As Bacon Time, yep, Udo Alliance forced to make the push. Bacon Time right now with the man advantage, but one player goes down, and actually with the support from way deep in Ruins actually comes into play. But it's still down to the 2 members here to finish off the 2v2.
Ooh, burned down from Bacon Time. Forced to retreat down the stairs. Udo Alliance, I mean, they're holding off. They're doing okay, and actually doing fairly successful now as the tides start to turn. Ice down, player also falling on the ground floor. Another shot, but it's traded off finally, leaving Noise alone for Bacon Time. This is a team that has been quiet since the first game, where they're able to frag out, control the round. Udo Alliance holding them in Sunken. They do have this blue zone right on their doorstep, but the push has to come through. It will sweep in, and Noise falls. Udo Alliance alive with 2, potential to res up to 3. Everybody now on the north swathe will be caught out in the cold. HVVP start to open up the gas on that north edge. Looking out to play spoiler to everyone over there. Skylightz in the meantime, struggling to keep themselves together. They're not even solidly into this next circle. They're all the way out the northeastern side. They're going to have to figure out how to move yet again if they survive this rain zero.
Long range shots coming out for STE. Inco looking to pick up some points onto the Donuts USG team. Stalwart Esports trying to answer right back with some points. That could be a good nade if it connects. That player won't be able to get revived either. As Mafioso in elimination feeds gets the snipe right onto HVVP. And Order, is he the last up again? I think he is the last player remaining alive for the side of Nova.
Still going, but if you're going to slip out of the top 3, this is the way to do it, right? Like, you just keep going with solo performances. Not even the top solo performer at that. In come Inco on the big crash. 2 players lit up immediately, but they do trade it 1-for-1. And a player V22K finally looking for more solace again, trading off the numbers, and it's going back and forth between the squads. Squash is low, as losing Nenebeti on the forefront leaves Inco in a 1 versus 2 right now. Solke and Lutz trying to hold it together. Squash puts the bullet through the window, but needs to try and force the heal. There's a wide flank coming through, should be on the broadside, but just gets back to cover. They're picking up these flushes in the meantime, and Lutz playing from the inside leaves them alone. Squash still trying to pop this med kit, trying to get himself back in the fight. Lutz lets him get past the window, floods all the way around the side. Now still in this 2 versus 1, as another player looking to get flushed. Trades around, but finally put to the juice. On the southwest side, and it's going to move away from them. Beat the chopstick finally.
Using Alpha 7 trying to do a sneak play to get closer, but that did not work. And now Spec also knocked. I think the Knights are okay though. They're just, you know, trying to play a little bit louder, peeking their heads up and over the chopsticks to find some damage. And here's Alpha 7 play. Now they are going to go ahead and still continue with that push. It's a 3v4 as more and more Alpha 7 players get taken out.
Teams out in the open field starting to get cut down, scythed through by the sightlines available. Tixie spotted. Really solid spray there from top coming through. Surprising that he was able to manage to pull that one off. Should be resable in the position for HVVP, but still a slowdown that might allow God like Stalwart to get a little bit more of a better position on this north side. Forced out by Tixie. They did get back up to 2 on the north side, but have to move.
They could maybe prone their way in. I think the grass is already rendered for the side of Power, so they won't be able to see clearly if the side of HVVP try to prone in, but Power is sitting so comfortable. They could watch every which direction they want to with no pressure, so they might spot something out. As USG finally losing the zone behind the tree, they're going to try and do a smoke path and run their way in, but yeah, Fireflux now taking shots at those smokes. One player goes down. Lufa last up.
And on Pets second forwards, I mean, you're going to take the L there either way. Fortunately, will fall down.
So much cover. Getting knocked, sure, it's fine, but getting knocked and finished, that is a huge loss for the side of Fireflux. They're up to 13 eliminations, though, which is great, but when it comes down to the final 3 teams, you would want to have 4, because the other 2 teams, the Knights and Power, with 4 alive. Not likely to get the next circle, and all eyes on them. If they have to leave that chopstick ditch, there is no cover. It's all flat ground. Their vehicles are inside the ditch. They're not going to be able to use anything. They can drop a wall of smokes, but that is just going to insinuate Power to spam smoke so extremely hard. I don't think the Knights can manage to make it out of this one. Not as a full squad, at least.
Leaving that smoke. They do still have that edge to play the cover. The backlines of Power will have to move. potentially a little bit faster on this next circle. So it might be a little bit of an issue for their sightlines, but they do have those buildings to move towards.
Good zone for power here. Majority control. Fireflux will have to move out of cover. They do have like maybe a few ridges just close to them, but easily in nade range, especially with that watchtower position that one of the power member has. This is the game for power. If they lose this, I would have to say it's because it was a throw. And Coops, if anyone can get an opening, it would be Coops. Is the Knights going to make a move off that? They kind of have to. Zone is starting to close.
Conte has the sightline. Swapping the weapons back and forth. Can't quite decide what he wants to go for. M4 is the selection in the end. Spots Xenox. Move up and hit the deck behind the buggy. Jumps into the vehicle. Oh, clipping the roof there with the bullets. Is really going to hamper them. Not able to land the shots over towards Fireflux either, and Power's position is slipping just that little bit. That crate that could be moved forward to by the Pittsburgh Knights could be very, very valuable. They're out in the open now. Spec is the deck. Watch the drop shot, but Solus is on the ball for Fireflux. And again, in the watchtower, Power rain down bullets. And it looked like it was a little bit ropey for a while, but now they're starting to put the pieces together. The puzzle is taking shape, and the Power is starting to turn up to 11 here. All four of them still alive. They will wipe out the Pittsburgh Knights with 5 eliminations, and Fireflux now have the full attention of Power.
Oh, nades raining in. It's getting close. We got 2 more people pushing up. Another nade hit. It is all said and done. They will get the revive, but I think this is it. Power will end up taking this game.
Catch the last standing for the squad. A fearsome player in his own right will be able to find one, but position is now known and a sliver of HP is there. Last shots land, and it's Power to end the day with a chicken dinner.
Wow. Just wow. You don't take a hot drop with Nova and you end up getting a chicken dinner.
Look at that.
Definitely how you get it done. By the way, they were actually in 16th place.
Yeah.
They were able to make that big of a jump, and that's currently what these teams needed to do, especially at the end of day 1. You didn't want the gap to be building up too much. Power Esports sets themselves up perfectly right there. Then you have some of the other teams, right? I mean, HBVP, we saw how well they've been performing today.
Definitely.
Evos as well. Amazing performance out of them, surprising performance too. And then we go here towards the second page, Imperium, and some of these teams, and I'm gonna call it out, bacon time. I did not expect them